A lot of change, a lot of good things, a lot of wonderful things coming. Is this week we arrived to the section of Kitavo. It's wise and smart to every person looking inside of what's the blessing that we have in our life, or maybe I should say, what is the idea of truly understand what is curse and what is blessing in our life. Because a lot of time, as I mentioned in my book, when people look at curses and they look at area in their life that it's not working so well, they want it to change. They don't develop a skill of study it. And there is people who are getting to become something, what I tell as a joke is a super spiritual or overly spiritual, meaning what? They're asking why about everything. There is time you have to ask why. There is time you have to ask what. You have to have time you have to ask how. Not all the time you ask why. Because if you ask a premature why, the result will not be as great as it need to be. So the why has to come as you mature, as you grow up spiritually. For example, if a person is totally cannot change a certain negative bad behavior, bad habit, you can't start asking why this bad habit is in your life and you say, once I know why, then I'm going to change it. You have to change it, and through that, the veil of knowing why is it in your life will just happen. So when we are in a week, we define what is blessing in my life and what is curse in my life. We have to be careful because a lot of time the curses is basically a blessing, and the blessing is the curse. If you're born rich, is it a curse or blessing? If you're born beautiful, is it a curse or a blessing? Everything can be translated into different thing because it's not what you are or who you are, is more what you're doing with that. You know? What are you doing with your money? What are you doing with the beauty? What are you doing with your wisdom? What exactly are you doing? If you just use the beauty or the wisdom or the money to manipulate other people, obviously, you use your frequency of energy that you were created with to take. So not only you receive so many gifts, you use those gifts to take. Now you tell me, do you think those gifts are a curse or a blessing? Well, if you look at the big picture, it's a curse. If you look at the immediate result, it looks like a blessing. So it's all up to the individual. What do you do? What do you do with your existence, like with your all existence? What exactly you do? I mean, right now, America is going through a lot. Protest, uh, everybody against everyone, money issue, work issue, disease issue. There's a lot. What's the blessing about that? What's the blessing? So I had the privilege to take a walk with my two sons. Why do I use the word I had the privilege? Because, in their age, they're not always going to find time for me as a father. And we talk for a long time. And I told my kids, this year what we went through was still going through. It's not easy. But a year like this always give birth to tremendous amount of success the next year. So I always tell people, if you know people in LA, I don't want you to travel that far. Make sure that you hear my shofar and you hear our pray for Rosh Hashanah. It's Rosh Hashanah, I don't need to tell you, it's a day that is coming soon, 2 weeks in a little bit. And in a day like this, what happened to Rosh Hashanah, all human beings, because all the children of Adam, that's what's written, all the children of Adam is being judged. What does that mean to be judged? They value our action and they see if it's worth it to give us another year to stay alive. That's what happened to Rosh Hashanah. And after the value of the worth to give us another year alive, they decide how healthy it will be. Then they decide how much money we're going to have. And then they're going to decide about their friend and surrounding and family around us, if they're going to be okay. So all this decide in 48 hours. So whatever you do in Rosh Hashanah, that's it. So why there's such a preparation 30 days before that? Because you can't change on the spot. You have to prepare. Every day something you study, that book, another book, until you become a better person. So for that reason, as you approach Rosh Hashanah in about, I think, 17 days, yeah, if you're asking me, I don't have enough room for everybody. We're doing it outside. But I think everybody have to come and hear my shofar when I blow it, at least on Sunday. It's falling on Sunday morning, because this will define everything. Can't miss that. Now, on the other hand, I don't know where to put all of you. Sorry to be honest here. So I'm not supposed to tell you to come. But on the other hand, why not? Maybe not a lot of people will come and then have a room for all of you. So, but we see. I need to tell you this because I've got to be honest with you. Without that, you can't change. You can't make a change. There are a lot of people I know work on themselves, go to different group of self-development, self-analyze yourself, find the child within you. What can I tell you? I don't want to upset you, but without the magic force from above, doesn't matter how good you are and how much you want to change, it's not going to happen. Why? Because there is two levels of change. There is training to change when I'm going to try to get better. That's why what I love about the 12th step, they say an addict stay an addict. I agree with them. You can't change an addict. But if the light of the Creator, the light of the Divine, getting involved, then a change take a place. So a change can take a place if you let that force to go in. Once that force going in, you're going to see a change. You're going to see a change, and that's really what it's all about. So a lot of people try to become better, and a lot of time when they try to become better, it's turning into a suppression. So for that reason, when we are reading this week portion, is a preparation for Rosh Hashanah. What do you need to do on Rosh Hashanah? What do you need to do before Tshuva? Repentance. What else you got to do? You got to learn how the shofar blowing. So, for example, I'm going to blow 3 types of blowing. Each blowing basically is taken care of what we call kaf small, left column. The left column concept has to do with the idea of fixing the left column so we can use it. Because the left column is the nourishment of all the light, of all the energy. Without that, you don't get life. Overly using the left column is death. It's dangerous. So what do we need to do? We need to combine it with the right column. We need to balance it. We need to take the whole wiring system and put it together through the blowing, because as much as you blow the shofar, it's called shofar, an horn of an animal. It's not about that. It's activating another shofar in the upper world. Why we call it shofar? From the word shufra. Shufar means beautiful. So you make the next year beautiful. Same thing that you eat everything with honey. You know, the bread is in honey, the apple is in honey, everything is with honey on Rosh Hashanah. Why is that? Honey is a very unique thing. Honey is the only creation that come from non-kosher animal, that we eat the product of non-kosher animal, but the animal itself we can't eat. Even that, if I'm not mistaken, Rabbeinu Yonah, and there is an argument on that. What happened, those of you who eat kosher, what happened if a non-kosher things fall into honey? So according to the few rabbis, there is disagreement on that. One rabbi said that the item will dissolve within the honey, and because that it's okay to eat the honey even if the animal that will fall inside, it's not kosher, to show you the power of the honey. So for that reason, when you have honey in something, even if something is so negative, it turns to positive. So for that reason, on the first night of Rosh Hashanah, there is a meal. And again, I cannot host all of you. I have in a certain amount of room. Whatever I can, I will do for you. And, people sit around the table and they dip things in honey. And once you do that, then of course, you are not just putting the apple in the honey or the bread, because bread is lechem. Lechem comes from the same roots as milchama, war. So you turn all your war into something sweet. For that reason, the Rosh Hashanah, as we prepare for that, you gotta do two things. First is tshuva before Rosh Hashanah, which is now tshuva. Try to do less negativity, less angry, less meticulousness. And when Rosh Hashanah coming, do the best you can to be part of the meal and part of the shofar. Again, but you gotta know what you're doing, and hopefully Debbie will remind me to share with you all the secret of the shofar. It's not enough just to be happy to come or to be happy to be part. Thank you for believing in me, but you gotta know more. Like I teach you before Passover, like I teach you all the holidays, you have to know. You have to know. It's no longer the time that you just have to believe in your teacher. Not enough. Not enough. I disagree with that. You have to believe in your teacher. There's a respect, there's a gratitude, I agree, but then you have to study yourself. And when you study yourself, you're going to have a lot of benefit. Good. Now, the portion of this week is a tough portion. Most people don't like this portion. I love it. If you ask my kids, they know this is my favorite parasha. Why is it my favorite parasha? Why do I like this parasha so much? Why? The parasha starts like this. Vaya ki tavo el haaretz. When you're going to come to the land, which land? That God give it to you. So, what kind of land God gave you? What kind of land do you feel that God gave you? Do you feel something that you have in your life was given to you by God? Or everything is already yours? That's the question I can answer. You have to ask yourself. Is your husband, wife, friend, what else you got? Money, cars, kids. Do you feel that's a gift from God? If you believe that was gift of God, or that is gift of God, then then it's yours, and then you can enjoy it. But you have to remember, you have to take part of what God gave you, okay? And you have to put it in a basket, and you have to go to the place where God's temple is, and you will go to the Kohen, and you will give part of what the blessing of God. Meaning what? Meaning you have to have a list of gratitude. I don't know how your list of gratitude doing, and I don't know how much you're sharing. But a sharing person, usually on a normal day, you gotta give 10% of your money, 10% of your time, and 10% of your love. That's called tithing. But before Rosh Hashanah, you have to give more than 10%. More. And whatever is more than 10%, it's called tzedakah. Tzedakah, the normal number for tzedakah, which is the minimum number above your tithing, is 161. Why 161? But it has to be with the meditation. With the meditation, with Ekayeh, there is all kind of secret name of how you're doing it. I'm not going to give you all of it right now, but you call Debbie and she will tell you how to do it. And when you do the 161, Now, some people do more. Some people do 1,610. Some people give 16,100. Some people give 161,000. Some people give million, point 0.6. Of course, it depends on the individual, how much money they have. Some people give 1 million and it's not enough. It's not even their tithing. So if a person worth 1.6 billion and they only give, 18 million a year, it's not enough. They didn't give their tithing yet. And they didn't give their tzedakah. So even if they're going to have money and they will be okay, protected, they will not be happy. So that tzedakah before Rosh Hashanah, it's like pidyon nefesh. It's like how you redeem your nefesh, how you redeem your soul. And without the person do tzedakah before Rosh Hashanah, especially when Kitavo is here, normally when Kitavo is here, you gotta give. It's a sign of gratitude, Now, many people ask, so okay, how much I give? I said 161 if you can afford it. You cannot afford even under the $61, you do payment or something like this, because the minimum should be before Rosh Hashanah $161. You can do payment, you can commit, you do $16 each time. If you're really poor, you can do $60 and $61, and then you go all the time. I remember, believe it or not, I had a student, she wanted to buy a book. And then she told me, I don't have money. So I want to give it to her for free. She said, no, I want to pay. Say, how are you going to pay it? Say, I want to pay 50 cents each time. I said, my God, I will have to go there and collect 50 cents each time. What I'm going to do? But that's what she wants, so I did that. So I'm going, I said, I don't want to embarrass her, not to make her feel bad, so I did it. Bottom line, after a year, every time I go there, she says, one day I will win the lottery, like everybody say, and I will give you a part. She win the lottery, guys. She win the lottery, $14 million. 14 $14 million. And she asked me, I know you teach me I have to give tithing. She never gives the tithing, unfortunately. She never gives. It's a very sad story. She gave me $1,400. Instead of giving me 1.4 billion, like I teach her, she gave me $1,400. And I don't want to scare you, but everything started to go wrong for her. Her mother went to a new house that she bought in Long Island, New York, Plainview, the area where she lived, and she broke her 2 hips. Her husband lost the restaurant that he invests after 2 years. Everything that can go wrong went wrong. And I met her by by mistake, at a wedding. And I came alone, she came alone. And we happened to sit at the same table by mistake. Not by mistake, the owner put us there. And I didn't say nothing, not to embarrass her, but she reached out to visit me. I know, but then she lost all her money. Very sad story. So don't play with money from now till Sukkot. Give, be generous, be charitable. And don't judge yourself if you don't have. Don't be hard on yourself. If you don't have, you give what you have. Don't try to overgive. That's ego. Don't become crazy. Start giving all your money you don't have. If you don't have, you don't have. But if you have, you gotta give. If you have food, you gotta give. You have clothes, you gotta give. But don't start to go, okay, I'm gonna go to the street and I give all the donation and I wait for God to create miracle. Don't do that. I don't believe in that. You gotta keep money for your food. You gotta give money for your clothes. You gotta give money for your family. Tzedakah is a beautiful thing, but tzedakah has become really beautiful when it's done right. Okay? So for that reason, it's a kitavo el haaretz. When you come to the land that God gave you, meaning everything you have was given to you by God, so we can share. It's when you don't share something that belongs to God, which is a very important thing. So charity is very important in this time. Charity is very, very important. Everybody should give. Kids should give. Everybody, even $1 something, should have a box. Put a box in the middle of the house with a hole in it, and everybody put charity every day in it and give it to whoever you feel comfortable to give it to. Okay? So you can ask Debbie. We have all kind of things that we're doing. You can be part of it, which is very, very beautiful. And yesterday, a wonderful man tried to donate for me and my family something that I I need usually for the holiday. And Debbie told them that Eliyahu is very specific not to take money for the holy thing. I have that thing that when I buy my lulav and etrog, I don't like when people pay for me because it's a holy thing. So when you buy something with a full amount of money, etrog, it's the 4 items that you use for Sukkot, you want to pay for it yourself. So even in days that I didn't have money, I would do whatever I can to collect enough money to buy my own, even if I didn't have money. Because when you buy something that has to do with spirituality, you want to pay a full price. But let's say if it's a food and all this and that, if somebody paid, that's okay. But for dvar mitzvah, it's Kodari, Rabbi Isaac Luria said for something that has to do with precept that come from the Torah, from the Bible. This, I don't like people to pay for it. You know, I like to pay for it myself, but when people want to pay for food or for wine, I have a gentleman, wonderful gentleman from Miami that pay for the wine here all the time. He said to me, I want to be the one who pay for the wine when people are coming here. I said, okay. There's another person who like to pay for the meal on Saturday morning because we have Saturday morning outside. Okay, no problem. But when it's come to your personal thing, let's say mezuzah or a etrog or something that belongs to you, you want to pay for that. Okay, so I just want to make sure it's clear. But zakah is always good to give. So the portion continue, and the portion saying to us like that, and it's praise God, how wonderful God get us out of Egypt, and it continues to tell all the history. And then God promised you that you will be wonderful. Wonderful. You're going to have just unbelievable life as you're going to listen to the Creator, whatever that means. Listen to the Creator. And as it continue, it say that will be curses and blessing. And where is that take place? Believe it or not, Shechem. Shechem is the place where Joseph the righteous is buried. So, the 2 mountains called Ar Grizim ve'Ar Eval. One called Ar Eval ve'Ar Grizim. In between, you have one mountain of tribe that curses and one mountain of the tribes that give a blessing. In between that is the burial of Joseph the righteous. 2 mountains, exactly in Shechem. Why specifically there? There is energy there. There is energy till today. Till today. There is energy in that place. And then, right after that, there is a section which is surprise. Why is it surprise? All of a sudden, there is 98 curses. Normally, if you go to synagogue, everybody will read that section quiet. I remember last year I went to synagogue because we couldn't find 10 Jewish men around here. Couldn't find. So I go to synagogue last year. And nobody want to take this aliyah. Usually you pay money. You pay about $150 at least, or $500 to each aliyah. It's not like here when people are coming, I give them for free. But normally it's about between $150 to $500. Some people pay $1,000 for one aliyah to the Torah. So I was ready to buy the 6 aliyah, like I usually do. So I expected to be $500 because it's a big Shabbat. So I offer $52, and nobody offered anything. I'm looking around, that's it, just me. Then I realized they don't even want to sell this aliyah. And usually they quietly don't want to talk about it. And I said, but it's in the Torah. If it's in the Bible, if it's in the Torah, why are you so disrespected? Why are you getting rid of that? Yes, I know, if you're going to read the curses, of course, everybody who listened to my lecture now will say, oh my God, Eliyahu, I would never go to the Torah for this aliyah. Here, let me show you some of the curses, okay? You are cursed in the city and you are cursed in the field. Your money is cursed, and whatever left out of your money is cursed. Your baby, before it born, is cursed, and everything come out of your field is cursed. You're cursed when you're coming home, and you are cursed on the way out of your house. May God send at you all the type of plagues and disease until you will disappear from this world. Can you imagine? 98 type of curses exist in this parasha. Makes sense that nobody want to go in that 6 aliyah. So here come Eliyahu Jian and say, I want to get it. Why would I do it to myself? Good question. For that reason, I have to take you to another book. And that book is called Zohar Chadash on Kitavo. Zohar Chadash meaning section of the Zohar that was found later. You know? And I read it when I was much younger, 25 years ago. And I'm sharing it with as many people as I can since I read it. And the section goes like this. Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai, Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai or ben Yochai, Rabbi Shimon the son of Yochai, walk and run away to the desert called Lud. We don't know where Lud is. Lud can be where the airport is, but Lud can be Peki'in. There is a city called Peki'in. In the city called Peki'in, it's actually a village, it's on a mountain, where all the Druze live. There is one neighborhood called Bet Jan, the house of Jan. In the house of Jan, down there, there's a cave. ונכבה במערה אחת, he hide in that cave. הוא ורבי אלעזר בנו, he and Rabbi Elazar his son. קרה להם נס. A miracle happened to them. They have curb tree to eat and water to drink. I mean, couldn't be a better miracle? Some chocolate tree, a little bit cake on the other side, melon, watermelon, little pistachio, vanilla ice cream. I mean, we talk about God. Why it have to be carob tree? That's it? Carob tree. And the carob tree sometimes would change into a fig tree on Shabbat. That's it. They eat the carob tree, they drink from the water. And Elisha the prophet used to come to them twice a day and teach them. Nobody even knew they were there. Why they ran away? One opinion, the Romans were killing everybody. They had to hide. Another opinion, many people disagree with the way of Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai, so he had to hide. One day, the friend of Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai was sitting and studying. And they say, what do we do with that section with the curse? Rabbi Shimon is not here to interpret that secret. Why God give us 98 curses with no hope for something to change? Come Rabbi Yehuda bar Ilai. Those of you who don't know who is Rabbi Yehuda bar Ilai, he is one of the 5th students that stay alive after the plagues that killed 24,000 students of Rabbi Akiva. In those days, 24,000 people, it's a lot. Even today, it's a lot. And he say, Oi, al chesrono shel bar Yochai. Woe, for that bar Yochai is missing. שחסר לנו, ואין מי שיודע ממנו. We are missing him, and nobody even know where he is. ואם היו יודעים, אין רשות לגלותו. Even if the angel knew where he is, they were not allowed to tell me. רבי יוסי בר יהודה קם יום אחד בבוקר. רבי יוסי, the son of Yehuda, wake up in the morning. He saw birds flying. And he saw one pigeon, one dove. He stood up and said, Yonah, Yonah, dove, dove. Please become my messenger to find Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai. עשי לי שליחות אחת לבן יוחאי. במקום שהוא שם, I don't know where he is, but here is a note with a question. We want to know why God cursing us 98 curses, and there is no solution for that. The Yonah, the pigeon, the dove, took the note, okay, וקמה לפניו, and she picked up the piece of paper. It's not like today you put it on the leg. והלכה לרבי שמעון, she found רבי שמעון. This is what, when you appreciate birds, when you see a bird, those of you who never have a bird as a pet, appreciate the bird. Bird is tremendous, especially dove, not raven, dove. שמה מכתב בכנפיה, she took the letter, and she put it under her wing. I don't know how she fly with it, but that's what's written. הסתכל רבי שמעון באותו המכתב, רבי שמעון saw the letter with a question, which it's asking him, how come in this week parasha 98 curses and there is no hope for us? Everything looks negative. בכה. רבי שמעון start crying. הוא ורבי אלעזר בנו. he and his son רבי אלעזר. אמר, בוכה אני על שנפרשתי מן החברים. I'm crying because I separate myself from my friend. Every person who separate themselves from the community, who separate themselves from the friend, has to cry. ואני בוכה על דברים אלו שאינם נגלים להם. I'm crying also because all the secret has not been revealed to them. מה יעשו הדורות האחרונים אם יסתכלו בזה? What's going to be with the last generation, which is us, when they get to this section in the Torah, and they cannot find why God only give 98 curses? Of course, it's not about just this week parasha. It's about everything in your life. When you feel that you've been cursed, when you feel nothing is working in your life, you got to find the blessing in it. Without Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, you cannot find the blessing. בתוך בא אליהו. Elisha the prophet come, ראה שבכה, he saw רבי שמעון בר יוחאי, which is crying. אמר בשלחות הרי אחרת, הייתי מוכן, אתה. Said to him, I was sent by God somewhere else, ושלחני הקדוש ברוך הוא לשקר את דיבותיך. But God saw that Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai crying. God say, leave everything you're doing, take care of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. If he's crying, that's not good for the world. If Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai is crying, the whole world is crying. If Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai is happy, the whole world is happy. We have to make sure Bar Yochai always happy. Rabbi. What can I tell you, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai? What can I tell you? לא היה צריך אתה לגלות. I'm not supposed to reveal the reason that there is 98 curses and why there is no blessing. Not even to righteous people. But because you cry, I have to reveal that. בתוך כך עבר רוח אחד, a spirit passed by, separate between אליהו הנביא ורבי שמעון, ועלה אליהו בגלגל של אש. And Eliyahu Navi, Elijah the prophet, went with a wheel of fire up to heaven, and Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai stayed by himself, and he started crying. And he slept in the cave. Those of you who have been with me in Pekin, it's in the cave. בתוך כך בא אליהו, אליהו הנביא, come back to him. אמר, קום רבי שמעון, wake up רבי שמעון, התעורר משנתך, wake up from your sleep. אשרי חלקך, good for you, שהקדוש ברוך הוא רוצה בכבודך, because God want to respect you. How? By teaching you the secret there. And God wants you to know that within all those curses, there is blessing. צא come and behold. When the king loved his son, even if he cursing him, even if he hit him, he loved him. When he showed big anger, it's come from mercy. It's like a father sees his son going on the wrong path, drug user, stealing, bad behavior. And the son hitting the father hitting the son to wake him up from the negativity. Because why is the son behaving negative? Not because the son wants to. There is a negative force out there that manipulate you. Can't help it. You know, why is people doing the wrong thing? Not because they're bad people. There is a force of forcing them. You know, I grew up in a tough neighborhood. So I remember in my neighborhood there used to be a whole family of criminals that two of them went to prison for life. And the younger boy hit me. And I was very young. And my father came home. My father was not strong, but he was brave. And he saw the kids, the older kids hitting me, and he hit the kids. The kids, of course, told his family. The family was mafioso. And we knew that. So my mom, my father, and our children were prepared for the Last Supper. We thought this is it. And they came. They came, they knocked on our door, and they asked if they can come in. And the father, the mother, and the big brother, who's the criminal, and the younger son came to our house. And they say what exactly happened. My father said what exactly happened. And instead of they punishing us, or they shoot us, or something like this, they punish the kids. And they take my father for that. Why is that? The father was so worried that his younger son will go to prison too, because they grew up around crime, because my neighborhood was full of crime. And so when a father sometimes show anger toward his son for the sake of help, it's love. So where is the love within the curses? Even if you see those curses, say Eliyahu Navi, say the angel, Elisha the prophet, to Rabbi Shimon, there is love within the curses. בגלוי הם נרות כללות. Revealed, if you look just at the curses, it looks like a curse. והן טובות גדולות, but you need to know it's a great, great gift, and you cannot miss this week reading. I don't care where you are, even you're in Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe, you take an airplane, you fly, you be here in LA, it's going to be 96 degrees in the morning. I'm preparing you, you're going to suffer. But you're going to hear this Torah. Once a year, I always tell people, never miss Kitavo. Especially people who have somebody who's sick with cancer, or people who have somebody who's, God forbid, problem, gotta come and hear that section. This is the section that cure all problem. והן טובות גדולות. משום שלא כללות הם היו באהבה, because those curses that come from love. מה שלא היה כן בכללות ראשונות. It wasn't the same with the first curse in different parasha. בכללות האלו יש דין ואהבה. כאב אוהב בנו. Say God himself, say it Elisha the prophet, to tell Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, to tell us, within those curses there is love. הוא מחזיק בידו רצועה להקה, והוא שואג שהגר גדולות וכללות גדולות, וכל גדולות ברחמים. And with this hitting, with this cursing, with this screaming, is to prevent his children, us, to do bad. What is the worst curse? Asks the Zohar in verse 12. What is the worst curse? והקשה מכל אלו הכללות, what is the worst curse? הוא זה שכתוב, that's what's written. גם כל חולי, also all disease, וכל מכה, and all the bad thing that happened, אשר לא כתוב בספר התורה, that not written within the Torah, יעלם השם עליך עד ישמדך. God, if you look at the little translation, God will elevate all the negativity on top of you until it will vanish you, until you will vanish. What's the blessing about it? Listen carefully. It say, כאן ההבטחות של האב על בנו הן באהבה רבה. This is a lot of love. יעלה לא כתוב. It doesn't say יעלה, יעלה mean God will put it on you. אלא יעלם. It seems like a mistake. Those of you who speak Hebrew, it should say יעלה, meaning it will be on you. No. Instead of יעלה, you take the A out and you put mem sofit, you put last mem. יעלם with M in the end, meaning will disappear. Whatever it's not written within this Torah, all the curses not written also will disappear. From here we learn that the word ya'alem is acting as if a vacuum cleaner to suck those 98 curses not to happen to you, plus all the curses that is not been written within this week parasha. So, what if you don't know it? Said, I met two rabbis this week Saturday night. I like to bother rabbis. This was my joy since I'm 16. I like to bother them, challenge them. But now I'm much more knowledgeable, so I like to bother them. So I asked them, what do you do about this week portion? Are you going to read 6 loud or are you quiet? I said, quiet. I said, why? I said, because it's curses. I said, but it say, verse 12, that this is the cure of all disease. We need it. No. Tradition. Didn't you see the filter on the roof or fiddler on the roof? Was it the filter on the roof or fiddler on the roof? Tradition. Tradition kills so many people. tradition. Tradition is good. When you follow only tradition, you're stupid. You want to know if you're stupid? If you follow only tradition. If you follow tradition and you add something else to it, you're not stupid. Why you follow your own tradition? Because you don't want to study. So that make you stupid? Why is Eliyahu call you stupid? I'm willing to call you smart. Take a book. You are listening to my lecture now, and you're not stupid. Now you know. Now we'll go to 10 rabbi. You go online, go on Google. Every one of you has a chance before Shabbat. Call 10 synagogue before Shabbat and say, hello, the 6th Aliyah. Do you read it loud or quiet? Do it for you. They say quiet. So why? Say this. Tell them, but it's a Ya'alem, not Ya'aleh. Just say it to them. And they might close the phone on your face, or you close it first. Doesn't matter. But they will not listen to you. So why I'm asking you to do it? Because first time I did it, there is an area in New York called Union City. None of you know even where it is. Most of you have no clue where it is. So Union City is coming. How can I explain? Union. You cross Lincoln Tunnel. You know where it's Lincoln? From the city into the way to New Jersey. There is a weird area. I almost can bet that none of you ever step into that area. And there is a group of Hasidim, group of ultra-Orthodox Jew. And I went there to bother the rabbi. I told you that's my tradition for already 35 years. I enjoy doing that. I usually go to synagogue or to rabbinical place. If I can go to church to bother the people, I would do it too. Because I don't do it because I don't like them. I do it because I want to wake them up. Because I believe they're great people. All those religious people are great people. They just don't know that they don't know. And I usually go after the head guy. I sit next to him and I start bothering him. And of course the guard come and everybody want to get me out. And I was lucky enough he let me stay. And I said to him, Kitavo, are you going to read it loud or quiet? And I'm talking purposely like rough, so everybody think I'm evil. And he said, no, quiet. So why? Then I sit with the rabbi and I proved to him that he's wrong. And that rabbi was man enough to admit it. He took me to his house and he put some cookies and cake and schnapps, if you know what schnapp is. And he took my hand and he started dancing with me. And I said, why are you dancing with me? He said, because you were able to convert something I studied for 50 years. I'm supposed to do it. And you changed it for me. And I never knew it's there. And he'd say, whoever doesn't know that, very sad. Because this parasha is exactly 2 parashot away from Rosh Hashanah. And you don't want to inject bitterness into Rosh Hashanah. Now, if you look at the Talmud in Masechet Megillah, I think it's Masechet Megillah, the section of Megillah, write that who divided the Torah? Who divided the Torah? Because the Torah is one scroll. Who decided which parasha go when and what's the name of the portion? Who decided on that? His name is Ezra HaSofer. Ezra the scribe. Ezra HaSofer said that Kitavo has to be read before Rosh Hashanah. Not the last Shabbat, 2 Shabbat before, like we're doing here. Why? Because you don't want to end up the year with bitterness. Because it's very heavy. Very heavy. Then you're going to read Nitzavim Vayelech after that. So, the reason I want you to be aware of that is I'm giving you a challenge, guys. Each one of you have 10 synagogue to call to. You can do 5 tonight and 5 tomorrow. Can't rest. You got to find rabbi. You got to find it. And if you will, then you did your job. So, that's one thing in this. Now, if you go to Rabbi Isaac Luria, he said, what is that thing? All those curses. And what does curses mean? Sometimes a person has a decree. Decree of death. No, no, chas v'shalom, chas v'shalom. What is the decree of death? We all been created in the image of God. Image, you'd say tselem. Tzadik lamed mem. Tselem. When the image of the tselem, which means the internal of the tselem, is gone, this is usually when people come to see me for Shana Rabbah, and I take them in the backyard, and I look at the shadow, I can tell what kind of life they're going to have in this year. Are they going to get sick? They're going to lose money? Are they going to have this problem? So I look at the shadow. When I look at the shadow, I can tell what's going to happen to them. So it's called tselem. Once the inner tselem disappears, then the outer tselem disappears. It's called or mekif, and then the person has to die. What to do? We're now in a time that the angel of death is flying everywhere. Because it's written here in the Ari, וזהו שם המוות הממית אדם בעת המגפה, בר מינן. It says, during the plagues, there is a force that kills people. Why? Because the name of God cannot shine on that individual. You have to be careful. And if you take the forename of God, I cannot tell you the all details, okay? And you take only the milui of each name. The first milui is 46, second milui 37, then 19, then 26. All of them going to be 128. 128, ואם הארבע כוללים והכולל, 128 plus 4 and 1, meaning, I guess, what do you get?
133.
Huh?
133.
Nugife, he said. You get Nugife. Nugife is 50 plus 80. What is 50 plus 80? And Gimel, 133? Yeah. He say, you're going to get the name Nugife. Nugife. Nugife is every person until the corona will go away has to carry in the wallet like me the scroll called Nugife. I do it in front of my house. There is a name in my wallet. All the family, we carry it in our wallet wherever we go. Because Dari said this is the way to deal with it. And ותנקד אותו כפי תנועת האותיות שורוק חיריק צרה. And you have to do נקודות inside this letter. Is our with נקודות, Nugife, yeah. So, like we doing it, we have shuruk, we have chirik, and tzere, and that prevent the angel of death not to approach you. Also, will be smart to, if you read Hebrew, to read pitum aktoret. It's a scroll that I have also in my tefillin when I read in the morning. It's to read the aktoret if you cannot afford to read it because it's expensive. It's an old scroll. You should read, at least read it from a paper in English or in Hebrew. Debbie can tell you where it is. But why am I telling you this? I'm telling you that because we are in a time that there is plagues. And it happened to be that Rabbi Isaac Luria talked in Kitavo about plagues. Because Kitavo is all about what happened if the curses take place. So if the curses take place, a person has to understand he has to protect himself. It's not a joke. It's not enough just to do a tzedakah and all this and that. You know the conclusion of our time. What is the conclusion of our time? We are now realize leaders are no longer exist. You know, when people come tell me, let's say, Eliyahu, you have the key to the president. What would you tell him to invest in? First day. Say, education. You know what we're missing? We're missing hero. We're missing education. We're missing philosophy. We're missing. There is no education. Would you agree with me that college, and I hope some of you are connected to some college in the world, and I'm willing to confront any college, is the biggest thief. I'm never against politician. I'm never against banker. I'm not even against thief. I always will be against college owner. College owner are not really care that the student will make it in life. It makes me disgusted by that. And I'm saying it already for the last 12 years. So it's before my kids. Now my kids are in college. You know, they remind me that I used to speak about it 12 years ago. I'm still speaking about it. Why not to let, after the first year, help the kids to choose whatever profession you want and help the kids to make it in life and make it quarter the price? Why you make it so difficult? So people will have a hard time. Why you do that? What's the purpose? You, please, after the lecture, please do me a favor. Check on each college how many billions of dollars they have and how they're using it. Please, I'm begging you. Because everybody going to the street for justice, but people don't know that the Dark Lord sneaking under all the fight that we have between black and white, between Jewish and, Palestinian. We're missing the real fight. The real fight should be against the education in this country. That's what's missing. You gotta wake up. Please wake up. Please wake up. You want us to join forces and go and do a protest? That should be the protest. I will join you. That's something that I feel so strong. Because if the education will be okay, we will love each other. But if the professor get paid $20 million to brainwash the kids because some political party pay him, because after all, that's a business, then those kids will grow up with the wrong idea. Those of you who live in 1970, when life was a little bit sweeter, it was not like this on TV that you kill the president and then you kill the one who want to become president. Things change. What happened to us? Education. Not spiritual education, not religion. Education. Unity. How can we help each other? I'm not even talking about spirituality. Forget spirituality. Those kids, they go in 18 to college and they live disaster when they are 21. Then they go back to their home, the parents' home, and they realize they didn't accomplish anything. So the unique smart one supposed to run the world because they went to Harvard or MIT, but they don't know how to run the world. They know how to be smart, but they don't know how to run the world. They're genius, but they're only genius. Can I run my company? No, Debbie run my company. Am I consider myself smart? Very smart. Genius, I call myself. But I cannot run a company. I can come up with genius idea to each business person. I will give them idea. That's what I'm good for. Some people know how to run corporation. They're good for that. It doesn't mean that if they go to MIT, they can run a corporation. They're stupid. How many people I met from MIT? Many. They're dumb when it's come to running corporation. But they're genius about how to solve mathematical equation that nobody can capable of. Good! I need you. So, education, my friend. Those of you who decide to create something, to start talking about college, make college for free all over. For the next 5 years, if you make college for free, the college will still have enough money to take care of everybody. Do you believe me that? Please check it. Please don't agree with me. Please. Disagree with me. Even check it now. Stop the lecture, go check it. That's how much I'm excited about it. Now, what happened to a person? Why is there, sometimes when the curse begin, as the Zohar, when we talk about curses here, when is the curses multiply itself? That it's getting worse and worse. You can find it in chapter 28, verse 47. I'm sure people are checking the colleges now, so nobody listen to me, but I don't mind. I'd rather they do that. It's good for me. I'm a teacher myself, guys, and I'm telling you, I wrote a program for children from till age? Till age 6, right? Till age 6. And it was 4 schools in Florida who bought it for me. And it's how to train kids to think better about the world. When I wrote it down, I didn't believe anybody will ever look into it. And I was looking at Debbie and we're walking on the beach. And I said, honey, I don't even know why I wrote the program. I spent so much time on that and nobody even going to look into it. So why did I do that? I wrote 3 children book, went to so many schools, give that for free. And then one day, wonderful lady from Miami said, I want to see you. I think I shared it one time. And the presentation happened while she's changing the diaper of her son. And this huge German Shepherd look at me like that, which I don't know if it's going to bite or not. And I'm doing presentation as the paper falls to the diapers. You have no idea what I went to. And in the middle of the presentation, I'm getting angry. Like, why? Why have I have to go to this humiliation? Presentation have to be nice in front of a group, the board, something. And then they opened the balcony. I don't know if you know Miami. And the wind came, so the paper, she wanted to do it in different section of the lecture, starts flying. And she was laughing. I didn't find it funny. I almost fall to sadness. And then I remembered that verse. It's in chapter 28, verse 47. Why are you going through a tough time? God telling you, תחת אשר לא עבדת את השם אלוקיך בשמחה ובטוב לבב מרוב כל. You want to know why you have problems? Say God. God, not me. Because when you already decide to be spiritual, you look miserable. When you act in a spiritual way, you gotta smile. Smile. You pray, smile. What else? You give charity, smile. Besimcha, with happiness. I know it's hard sometimes. Tough time. We are alone. Here we're looking at each other for the last 7 months. Same people at my table. The only conversation we have, what are we eating for Shabbat? That's it. That's the same conversation over and over. Over and over. There's nothing to talk about anymore. But the point is what I'm trying to say. And everybody, some people get it worse, some people are alone. Have nobody in their life. Some people are together with their family. Some people are not. Every person. But you got to find the simcha. If you find the happiness while you're doing spirituality, good things are happening to you. So while all the pages are flying, I start smiling. The owner looked at me. He's the owner of Force School. She said, okay, put all the paper together. It's a deal. Tell your wife to come pick up the check. I'm talking about big amount of money, thank God. And we sold the program. Now we're showing it to other schools in New York. What I'm trying to tell you by that, your life is great, but you have to find out that your life is great and then tell it to a lot of people. Find what's great about your life. And every day, till Rosh Hashanah, first write down one good thing about your life and post it. Second thing, find a way how to give tzedakah, at least $161. At least. It's at least. If you can do more, of course, do more. That's above of your tithing. And make sure you ask Debbie what's the meditation for that. Because they have to be Ekeya, Debbie. Ekeya b'milui. And with the help of God, with this week, reading, you got to make a change. Your life cannot stay the same. So, those of you who decide that you want to visit me in LA, start driving. Go into the car and drive. You don't need to fly. So I tell you, if you live in Miami, it takes 5 days. If you live in Atlanta, 4 days. If you live in somewhere in Colorado, 1 day. If you live in Vegas, 5 hours. If you live in San Francisco, 5 hours. Ooh. Yeah. If you live in New York, it takes a week. You have to stay in the middle for Shabbat. Okay? Start. Make an effort. Make an effort, guys. This year is not like any other year. We want to make sure that this year we're going to change the decree that came on us, and we want to find out Tzelem. What I want you to do instead of meditation this week, I want you to take your time, call some synagogue, start calling them. Everybody has to call at least 10 synagogue. You go online on Google and call synagogue in your area and just ask. I heard there is curses in this week portion. Are you reading them loud? They say no. Ask them why. Tell them I found out in the Zohar by my teacher Eliyahu that you supposed to read it loud because it's actually a blessing. Because there is the word Ya'alem. Don't worry. Even if they seem like they didn't listen to you, they did. So whatever you live in Colombia, find one synagogue there. Call the rabbi. You got to find those people, educate them. Because the education will not come just from me, it will come from you. Consider yourself an ambassador of the light. Consider yourself an ambassador of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. Consider yourself an ambassador of the Zohar. Consider yourself an ambassador of Rabbi Gloria. I don't know if I told you this last time. From the beginning of Elul, you're supposed to read Tikkunei Zohar. Those of you who are lazy to read, cannot read, call Debbie. She read it with the group. Those of you who don't want to call Debbie, go online, on Vital. We have a section of Tikkunei Zohar. Ask Debbie to open it for you. And then watch my class. I promise you're not going to understand a lot of things. I'm speaking there. But that's that you try, that consider like you did it. Okay? No meditation today. So thank you so much. Hopefully you turn every curses into a blessing. And I would like to say thank you to all the people who joined us today. Hello, Darlene. Hello, Suzanne. Hello, Karen. Hello, Mark. Hello, Cynthia. Hello, Yvette. Nice hat. Camille Goldsmith. Sharona. Marshall. iPhone. Nicole Alfie. Mati Quigley. Wonderful to see you. Nancy. Faye Basri. Nice cross. Michelle Alfie. Charlotte Meyer. Rachel Brown. Alisa Justa. Mark Naurai. Thank you so much. Vicky. I guess that's Vicky Kitchen, right? Oh, how do you move? Oh, it's not an iPad. So it's iPad, I tried to move it. Gabrielle Duquin, Andriana Santo, Lydia Vega, TMJ Creator, am I right? Yeah. 760, I guess that's Vegas. I think I say hello to everybody. Yeah. God bless you people. And let's make sure we're turning every curse into blessing. Let's make sure we change the ecology in the United States. Thank you so much. Have a great evening. Toda.